Hi, I'm Lyndsay Malchuk with Stockhouse Publishing, and today we are visiting DynaCERT headquarters in Toronto. I'll take you on a tour and give you an update on Canada's hydrogen pioneer. This company is specializing in hydrogen-based emission reduction technology for internal combustion engines. Their flagship product, hydrogen, uses electrolysis to produce hydrogen and inject it into diesel engines, improving fuel efficiency and reducing emissions. The company also offers Hydrolytica, a telematics system that provides real-time data on fuel savings and emission reductions. DynaCERT technology is widely used in transportation, logistics, construction, and mining, helping industries meet environmental regulations. With increasing global demand for cleaner energy solutions, DynaCERT is positioning itself as a key player in the decarbonization of heavy-duty industries. Let's go inside and meet the team. So I am actually standing right here with Mr. CEO Jim Payne as we speak. Hello, it is great to be here today.
It's great to see you, Lyndsay. It's great to have you.
I'm actually really excited to see how your technology is moving forward. So that's actually where I want to start. So a little bit for you all in the audience. DynaCERT has welcomed several new members over the past year. So Jim, how has this impacted the company?
Well, I think this has been a huge impact for the company. And as most people know, I've been here for quite a few years, but it's now the point where we are attracting, some star players. I mean, I look at the president that we brought on, which you're going to meet there shortly, Bernd Kruper. I mean, with the years of experience that he has in the diesel world and worldwide, of course, then he's brought on a COO. But then I look also at our directors. I mean, over the last year, we brought on three new directors. I mean, from James Tansey, whom is a professor, but literally a world-known expert in the carbon credit world. And then we look at Tanya Roundtree that we brought on. I mean, she is well-known and years of experience in the trading world, the public world. I mean, she came from TSX. Now she's at SIBO. And then just recently, Doug Shenison that we had brought on. I mean, he has, again, a world of experience. He comes from the Penske world. I mean, he was senior management and directors of Penske, which, it's a small company, like 350,000 trucks, plus globally.
Just pretty small then.
Yeah, just small. But I look at the people that's being attracted to DynaCERT, and I think the thing that excites me the most, these are smart people. These are people that have done their due diligence. They see an opportunity. They see what I see and believe what I believe. And I think they've got the capability, or I know they've got the capability of taking this thing way beyond my wildest imaginations. So I'm excited about it.
Let me introduce President Bernd Kruper right here with us to give us a little bit of an insight on the company as well. So Bernd, you have quite the impressive industry background. So why don't you give us a little bit about information about that, as well as what is your perspective regarding DynaCERT's potential?
Yeah, thank you, Lyndsay. Good talking to you and to the audience, of course. I'm impressed by the technology, by the future perspective of DynaCERT, and of course everybody's talking on hydrogen. We produce hydrogen ourselves with our own products, and therefore we don't have to transport it to the place. But the long-term perspective and the vision is using the big opportunities out of this big, tremendous market. And therefore we are one and will become one of the key players in this hydrogen technology. And of course, a lot of potential for fuel reduction and emission reduction with the vehicles, with the existing fleets, but also with new ones to come.
So, you did speak a little bit about your long-term vision, but let's look at the next 5 years. Where do you see that going? What's your vision for 5 years from now?
Yeah, first growing the company, of course, internally, preparing in all different functions for the scaling up and the growth, which starts with R&D and with expanding the R&D, the products. There's various fuels, various applications to come. Also having the processes, of course, we have everything in place to deliver high quality products, which we do already. But growing the market, preparing our production, our sourcing, our capabilities to grow also the business and to grow the company by that.
So you plan to scale the company up how? Let me know how that is. You touched on it a little bit more, but let's dive deeper into that.
Yeah, good question, Lyndsay. That's what we, of course, strategically discuss every day and work on. Means where to play. Means first we are in the mining industry already an active player, in the oil and gas, in the Class 8 trucks, majorly here in Northern America, but also in Europe and in the Middle East, for instance. But we are also approached from various other geographies, like Asia, like other applications besides mining, oil and gas, and Class 8 trucks, which is, for instance, majorly in Europe, also construction equipment, which is the European truck space, and which is also Jim Payne's, our CEO's dream and vision since a long time, to get also into the marine application, where we have also first contacts and maybe also room to grow. But of course, we are a post-startup company. That means we aren't that big up to now. Of course, we want to grow. Therefore, it's the strategic question, what to do ourselves, where to focus, what to do with partners, and how to grab the opportunities in the market in the best manner from the cost side, but also from the pricing and the volume side.
Well, let's flip over to strategic partnerships then. Do you have any in the funnel right now that could help you accelerate your growth?
Yeah, as said, we are approached from various geographies and various players, and of course we couldn't do everything ourselves with the size of the company up to now. And the one is the capacity, the other one is the speed, how to approach the different markets. Therefore, we are in discussions with operators and logistics companies, which of course are the major target group for retrofitting hydrogen solution. On the other side, we are also in serious talks with well-known engine manufacturers and truck and vehicle OEMs. Therefore, it's a lot of opportunities. As said, we have to check and are clear what we want to do ourselves and what we want to do with partners and potential JVs.
And how are you positioning yourself against competitors at the moment?
Yeah, good point. Competition means if you hear hydrogen and engines, usually it's, of course, everybody thinks it's hydrogen, pure hydrogen engines. But our solution is principally retrofitting existing diesel fleets. That means the fuel reduction and the adding of our equipment to the classical diesel engine is principally our target. Therefore, it's not the pure hydrogen engine that much the competition. It's more lifting up the existing diesel fleet with our hydrogen infusion to reduce fuel and emissions. And secondly, there's of course a lot of guys in the market who say and tell that they reduce emissions by hydrogen, but we don't face that much competition up to now. We have unique IPs and talents and resources and technology. Therefore, it's more the question of becoming known. Therefore, of course, Lyndsay, thank you so much for all your contribution to that. And yeah, we will grow the market and we'll keep our position there.
Okay, so tell me this. How are you, or what are you doing to increase your global market penetration right now?
Yeah, of course, first we do more marketing and campaigning like today. Secondly, we added our sales force. We added additional capabilities and competences. Thirdly, we relocated our European office to Munich Airport. There also a bigger approach and more directed into the OEMs and into the operators side to grow also there the market. And yeah, of course, we see already first successes out of that. We have repeat orders from existing customers and we win new leads, which we of course will also satisfy and by that get into deeper volumes and bigger business.
So you definitely celebrate any wins at any level, so congratulations on that. Now, DynaCERT also has a European subsidiary, and specifically in your German hometown. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, thank you, Lyndsay. Yeah, we relocated from a remote rural place in southwestern Germany to Munich airport area for various reasons. Of course, the one is easier to be approached. It's at the airport, therefore also for our Canadian friends as well as globally being easily reached. Secondly, we have there some space to display our product and explaining it to interested parties. Thirdly, Germany is, as you know and the audience knows, an important player within the European Union. Therefore, of course, Germany is one of the major or key markets, but up to where we can grow and have to grow. And besides that, of course, we are in France and in Spain and in Portugal and various other countries also quite active. But Germany, as said, is an important market. Therefore, it's good to be there in the heart of the European Union. And for instance, there's also taking place in 4 weeks' time the convention Bauma, which is the biggest construction and mining fair worldwide. Therefore, good to be close by.
That's a really great reason, definitely. DynaCERT has invested significantly in development over the years, and more customers are purchasing your technology and placing repeat orders. So what can customers expect in the future then?
further development of our product. It's already world class, of course, but we have hardware and software. Therefore, on the hardware side, of course, we can imagine and do imagine expanding our product portfolio also into smaller as well as into very, very big engine equivalents. Secondly, on our software side, we have an own telematics, which we develop, of course, further. And there will be carbon credits to be generated, which we will explain in a minute.
I'm back here with Jim Payne down in their actual assembly facilities. And Jim, you know, this is pretty fascinating here. There is a lot going on. Can you tell me actually, how does the hydrogen technology differentiate itself from anything else out there in the industry right now?
Sure, and that's something I'm quite proud of. And you know, there's all kinds of companies out there that make all kinds of claims that they can do this and do that. One of the things we have done is spent millions of dollars having our product, first of all, commercialized, but then tested and certified globally. But the one thing that we do that's really important to me, I mean, we reduce the emissions at the source, right at the combustion. Everything else is through filtrations. You know, they've got the DEF systems, the DPF systems, the EGR systems, and all this stuff. And what they're really doing is they're filtering stuff out, and then they're either burning it back off, putting it in the atmosphere, or they're putting it in the landfill site. We're reducing emissions at the source, and that is something that, to me, makes all the difference in the world.
Well, that makes total sense right there. Are there any upcoming innovations or improvements planned for hydrogen or hydrolytica?
Well, we are always looking at improving and changing or bettering, but you know, I would dare say, I mean, we've got a very unique product, very commercialized now, and we're marketing it very aggressively. But yes, we're looking at changes. I mean, we're looking at growth. I know Bernd mentioned earlier, I mean, something that's always been near and dear to my heart is the shipping. You know, like you look at the big ships, the container ships, and most people don't realize this. One container ship puts out the equivalent of 50 million cars per year in pollution. You take 17 container ships, it's equivalent to every vehicle on the road worldwide today. And the governments were trying to convince us that you needed an electric car and that was going to save the planet. And I'm not knocking electric cars, don't get me wrong, but that's not the problem. And the reality is, I mean, the big diesel engines, you know, I mean, we were trying to convince over the last few years that everybody's going EV. The world has come to the realization EV does not work, especially in the big diesel engines. That is our target market. I mean, our target market was initially transport trucks. We've gone from transport trucks to, you know, to rail, into mining equipment, stuff like that. One other thing that, you know, really was sort of a wake-up call for me was drilling rigs. Now, drilling rigs, you know, I've never really even thought about it as far as diesel engines. About a year and a half ago, we had a major drilling company from Western Canada in the oil and gas reached out to us and had heard about our products and wanted to try it. They bought 2. They got such good results. Since then, they are now one of our largest customers. I mean, every week they can. Last week, we got another 28 order from them. I mean, they're up to hundreds of units now, and they just keep adding and adding. So in the last few days, I mean, I was actually at a big mining convention, so I targeted the drilling companies because before I never even thought about it. And when I talked to them, I mean, they are also keen. Yes, we need that. I mean, with the ESG reporting today, you know, with the fuel savings, I mean, these things run 24/7 and burn an enormous amount of fuel. But then with the ESG reporting and their importance of wanting to be able to give back to the world and reduce the emissions, they're all keen on this. So it's been a real wake-up call for me, but it's exciting. You know, I think we're just hitting that tipping point.
It's just the tip of the iceberg for sure. So can you tell me, how do you actually guarantee the efficiency and the reliability of your technology?
Well, that's something that's very unique with our hydrolytica. With our hydrolytica, this is the trademark, this is our data. But what we do is we gather the data in real time, second by second, minute by minute, where it shows the improvement of fuel economy, it shows the reduction in emissions, and then it actually converts it to CO2e, which in turn converts it to carbon credits. So we have spent 4 years going through a very painful event to get certified for carbon credits through Verra, which, believe me, that was a long, drawn-out thing. I never thought it could take that long, but I've been told many, many times, you know, you did the right thing because Verra is the world leader when it comes to that. We have now the approved methodology, and we are just on the cusp. We're literally in the final stages of launching our first major project, and this is across Canada, United States, and Mexico, for every diesel engine that's utilizing our technology, that we can issue them carbon credits. I mean, that's a real win.
That is a win-win right there. What about other sectors? Are you guys looking to, develop into other sectors other than transportations? I mean, such as generation or marine industries even.
Well, like I mentioned, I mean, when I look at the big container ships and stuff like that, that's something that is really important to me, and that is something I know we don't have a unit today near big enough to do that. It's interesting. About 6 years ago, we did a pilot project in the Dominican Republic on one of these large Wärtsilä engines, the same type engines that these big ships use. And we proved that the technology can work. Now, I mean, we did not produce it on demand. We actually bought bottled gases and fed it in until we found that right mixture to improve the fuel economy. So we know it can be done. We want to be able to build massive unit. Now, with that, in the last year, we have partnered with and bought a part of Cipher Neutron. That is the future. I mean, I've always believed in the hydrogen technology. I think that's the future to it, but that gives us the ability to produce high pressure, high volume, on-demand hydrogen. So for the big ships, that's what we need. So yes, I mean, we've got a lot of work to do, but we've got it, it's in the works and we know how to do it. So it's exciting.
That is exciting news. I'm here with Kayvon down at the plant, and he is the plant manager. Kayvon, thank you for having us here today.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming to our plant. We have our AG1 unit model, which is for 8 class trucks, and then this unit runs for 85 hours or 4,000 kilometers, depends on the application and consumption. Units consist of main modules is reactor, and then we have the solution tanks. We have our electrical panel, which includes our smart ECU, which can basically produce hydrogen according to the load and then the needs for the application.
Absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much for explaining.
You're welcome.
We decided to take a little dip into parts warehouse and dispatch and saw so many interesting shipments ready to go out everywhere around the world. I'm standing here with Ed Cordero. He is the director of sales, and we just have a few quick questions for you. So first of all, thanks for having us here today.
Pleasure to meet you.
So one of the first ones, can you tell us about the latest developments in sales and the opportunities ahead?
Well, we continue to develop existing territories and markets, including Australia, all up and down South America, Canada, Europe, and we're exploring new territories like India, Vietnam, where they have thousands of engines, hundreds of thousands of engines, with no pollution control and want a solution.
That is really good to hear that they're actually trying to just stay ahead of it on their own. So, how do you see global regulations actually affecting the adoption of hydrogen-based solutions?
Well, the governments have to be a catalyst, otherwise nothing will change. People will resist change, and the investment required has to be supported by governments, and we're starting to see that support coming. We are, as we know, or people know, we make diesel greener today, immediately, on the spot as soon as we add our technology. But that's not the long-term solution. That's an interim solution. But diesel is going to be around for a significant period of time because electric vehicles, electric trucks, and heavy equipment is not going to solve the problem. Pure hydrogen will be the solution down the road, and potentially other technology, but that's going to take time. It's going to take multiple decades, the next 2 decades perhaps, to transition to a pure hydrogen fuel cell environment.
Okay, so then what potential impact could that government mandate for emission reduction technologies have on DynaCERT's actual overall growth?
Well, the governments are supporting or pushing the agenda to green the environment. Without that, the evolution that I've seen, actually going back to the last 5 or 6 years, the focus for customers of ours back 5, 6 years ago was pure fuel savings. Nobody talked about emissions. The governments have started to emphasize the emission reduction and the environmental impact of diesel engines. So we do provide the dual benefit. We provide an economic return to the customers by saving fuel, and we also green the emissions at the output. And so governments are supporting the push towards a greener environment, and so we now see the customers looking for both benefits. And now we're also going to add the third benefit, which is carbon credits as an incentive for future adoption of our technology.
Well, it's always exciting seeing all of these products already out, ready to go. And thank you so much for having us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We're back here in actually the office part back at DynaCERT, standing in their phenomenal boardroom, actually. And Bernd, we just want to flip over to your financials for a bit. So, the first question that we definitely want to ask is, what the key revenue streams for DynaCERT are and how do you see them evolving?
Yeah, Lyndsay, of course, good question. Having seen the products and the high tech and the high quality, of course, financials are also very important. Up to now, we make the major revenue stream out of hardware, out of our Hydrogen box, which is, of course, a very significant product with reasonable turnover. And of course, we have additional sources of revenue streams. One is growing the business with the hardware, with Hydrogen, of course. And secondly, as we mentioned already, we have corresponding telematics software solution, which creates subscriptions in the future. Therefore, we have there not only a one-off hardware sale, we have also software subscription income. And thirdly, we are generating soon carbon credits, which will also be a reasonable source of income for the company, as well as being shared, as well as with our operators.
That's all exciting right there. With the latest financial round, how will the company utilize the capital to drive more growth then?
Yeah, of course, we are happy to have that money, and we will accelerate our growth. We have a clear plan, as mentioned before, with a strategy where to play and how to play. Therefore, it's investing into additional talent and people, which is, of course, the heart of the company. And every technology, you need the right and proper people. Secondly, it's further development of software. We have an own telematics Hydrolytica, as mentioned before by Jim, which we further develop, and of course also together with partners, and therefore spending money there reasonably. And thirdly, as mentioned, we have had founded in Munich a new European center, which we will also add with additional places in the world. And this costs all money, but preparing for the growth.
Well, there's nothing like a good growth story for sure. What about the financial milestones? What should investors be excited for coming up?
Yeah, first, of course, scaling up the volume means additional revenue, means by that additional profits coming out of the product. And of course, we continue our scaling up processes, which is the basis for generating margins and profits by that.
Okay. Now, what about DynaCERT's plan to achieve profitability? I mean, what is the timeline for reaching those goals?
Yeah, principally we have defined together the strategy, which is a 12-month plan with a lot of defined measures to come to break even with that. And of course, we don't want to stop at break even. We want to earn money for us and for the investors side. By that, growing the company, growing the revenue, reducing the costs, growing the margin, and this would help as well, very likely also the stock exchange price of DynaCERT.
Well, the forecast looks really good right now financially, and thanks for breaking that down for us.
Yeah, Lyndsay, pleasure. Thank you.
Jim, I actually want to talk to you about your upcoming certification from Verra. I mean, how does that actually influence DynaCERT's market progression?
Well, that's something we're really excited about, and I think I mentioned it earlier. I mean, this was something that took us 4 years. This was a very long, drawn-out, hard event, but I was told by many, many companies and many people that buy carbon credits, that we did the right thing staying the course with Verra, because Verra is the leader worldwide when it comes to certifying carbon credits. Now, you said certified. I mean, right now we have our methodology, which has been approved and certified. We are literally just on the final stages of launching our first project with Verra. Now, a project is where it defines everything, and then at that point, the carbon credits are issued. The thing that really excites me about carbon credits, so I mean, this is a reoccurring revenue stream for DynaCERT. I mean, and it is also a reoccurring revenue stream for the end user, because you look at the end user. I mean, they're gaining and benefiting by the fuel savings. They're benefiting by making the planet better and running greener and boldly talking about that. But then the carbon credits are now, a real revenue stream in itself. These things are worth a fortune, and DynaCERT, we have been told by the auditors and by even Verra that DynaCERT's carbon credits will be deemed a premium carbon credit. And the reason is because our carbon credits are 100% data-driven. Because we've got the Hydrolytica, and the Hydrolytica, is taking information from the computer of an engine, and then it is putting all that information to the cloud, and it's sending back to our data center. where there's no human intervention with this whatsoever. Like, this is not us guessing. It's not anybody guessing. It's nobody estimating that we're going to reduce this. It's not that we think a tree is going to grow so fast. We know without a shadow of doubt the amount of emissions that are being reduced every second, every minute of every day, and then that's converted to CO2e to convert to carbon credits.
Well, I mean, that's all factual things right there. You can't make that up. That's gold.
That is gold.
So how do you see the role of hydrogen evolving in the fight against climate change, and how does DynaCERT tend to fit into all that landscape?
Well, that's something I've always firmly believed, that hydrogen was the future. I look at hydrogen. You can't deplete the world of hydrogen.
That's right.
The other thing that excites me, you burn hydrogen, what do you get? You get water. I mean, where's the hydrogen come from? We fracture the water, we produce hydrogen. You burn hydrogen, the only emission is water. I mean, like, it's a reoccurring thing, but I do believe that our current technology is a bridge to the hydrogen technology. Now, I believe this is a long bridge, a large bridge. I think diesel engines, like we said earlier, especially the big ones, are around for a long time. But I do believe eventually they're going to be replaced, and I do believe that hydrogen, I mean, you look at major OEMs today, they have invested billions of dollars looking at EV. They have now put it all away, written it off, and now they are investing in hydrogen, in a hydrogen engine. And I do believe, and like Ed had said earlier, we're probably decades away from that, but although there is some OEMs that already have it, but once they get that, then the question is where does the hydrogen come from? And you got to be able to produce hydrogen in a very effective, very efficient way. And that's why we have partnered with Cipher Neutron, because Cipher Neutron is, right now, as a matter of fact, this just was information went out just last week, where they have now the highest efficiency rate worldwide in the production of hydrogen with their new AEM technology. Now, I mean, they're early stage and stuff like that, but we have partnered with them. DynaCERT has taken a serious position within their company because we do believe long-term, that's the future. So we are positioning this company for the long-term growth within our current technology, with our team that we brought on, but then, looking farther down the road where, this company can continue to grow and everything like that for our shareholders and for everybody.
I mean, that's a really great story too. And within every company, there is going to be challenges. So what are the challenges that DynaCERT has faced, and how are you addressing them?
DynaCERT has faced challenges time and time and time again. That's the only thing about me, is I'm so damn stubborn, I don't quit. But the reality is, we've faced a lot of challenges and we've had a lot of uphill battles, and I'm not saying it's all done yet. It's not all downhill from today, but I do think we're hitting that tipping point. And I think the most important thing is, like we talked earlier, is the team that has been that we've assembled, but more important, not just assembled, the team that has been attracted to DynaCERT. And to me, that is really the key thing. I mean, these guys are smart. I mean, these people, it's not just guys, I mean, Tanya also, but I mean, these people are smart. These people have been around. They will not hang their hat or throw their name into the ring of something that's going to hurt them. I mean, they certainly see this as a huge opportunity. I've always believed it. I believe this company is way bigger than me. Always believed that. And I'm excited to be able to watch this and continue to grow. And one of these days I'll watch it from my rocking chair, but not yet. I've got to, but I am excited. I am very, very excited for the opportunity of where this company's going.
Well, that's the thing, is that you're building a team and a community, not just a team, but you're building a community. So thank you so much for having us here today. It's been a fantastic visit.
Lyndsay, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
And that's a wrap for us here. DynaCERT continues to push forward in hydrogen technology, and it's exciting to see firsthand the progress that they're making. Stay tuned for more updates from this industry leader. I'm Lyndsay Malchuk from Stockhouse Publishing. We'll see you soon.